So this is quite amusing. President Trump was speaking to a Muslim group at a White House dinner, and he tells the Muslim mayor, he said, "I understand you guys don't mind death so much." I mean, he's unhinged. Have a watch.
World, we're all looking for peace for the entire world. When I was in Michigan, I met with so many leaders of faith, and I said, what about your attitude here, your attitude there, all of the attitudes and all of the things I heard? They said, sir, all we want is peace, right? You remember, Mr. Mayor? I said, but I understand you don't mind death. They said, no, sir, we want to live. We want to live, and we want to be happy, and we want to love everybody. We're all looking for peace.
He really is just prepared to say whatever is on his mind, eh? It's just unbelievable. But, President Trump clearly is touching on something that anyone whose eyes are open can see exists within parts of the Muslim world, this glorification of death. And this willingness to, suicide bombings, to do things where even the odds seem stacked against you, like what Hamas did on October 7th. The odds would seem stacked against them, and yet they're prepared to go for it, or at least maybe not the leaders who can sit in Qatar or Doha or whatever and have their sip on pina coladas with all the funds for aid to Gaza that they've stolen. But people on the ground, the everyday people who celebrate martyrdom, on the Jewish side and the Israeli side, we have many martyrs who have defended our people, but we don't celebrate the fact that they died. We celebrate what they, or honor what they have achieved, but we'd much rather that they didn't die and that they lived. Here, there's actually a celebration of death that exists within Islam, and I want to just briefly explain to you why that is and where the mistake is from a Jewish perspective. You don't necessarily have to be an Islamic extremist terrorist to end up glorifying death. You can glorify death more subtly. Many religions out there are obsessed with just, I'm doing all this to get to heaven. It's all about heaven. I'm saved. I'm going to be in heaven. It's very focused on the next world. Very focused on death. Now, an extreme version of that is like, death is so great, I want to get there now, and I'll just do what I need to do to get there, and I'll be in paradise, i.e., they think it would be killing Jews. Wrongly, of course. That is against God's will. And that should be obvious to anyone that is of sane mind. But the point is that they think that it's great. I'm getting to heaven. Paradise. Aside from the fact that this is not the will of God, let's also just understand that if your religion and what you're doing is all about trying to get to heaven, and you say, well, I'm serving God, I'm doing God's will, but it's all about your paradise, your reward, your salvation, then who are you serving? You're actually serving yourself. You're trying to get your reward. So far from serving God, you're serving yourself, because it's all about me getting to there. So you end up on this very dangerous path where an extreme version of that would be becoming a terrorist. But even a less extreme version is your spirituality becomes very self-centered. It's all about me, I'm being saved, my need to get there. The radical message of the Torah is that actually you're not the needy one. In fact, this isn't just a statement of belief, this is a logical deduction. I ask you, dear viewer, did you ask to be born? Did anyone ask to be born? Did you need to be born? No. There's this guy in India, I don't know if you heard about it a few years ago, suing his parents for giving birth to him without his consent. He's like, what, I've got to pay the bills now, I've got a mortgage, I've got these things, and I never even asked to be here. Bit of a morbid thought, but you think about it, he's got a bit of a point. Anyway, he goes to take them to court, his parents to court, and the judge throws out the case immediately. Why? Because the parents, who were lawyers, by the way, said, yeah, you didn't ask to be born, but neither did we. So what are you going to do? Go to the grandparents? Go to the great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents. No one ever asked to be born. Not even Adam and Eve. There are some people who say, well, there isn't a concept that God, you're a soul first in heaven, and God says, will you come to earth? Will you be born? And we consent to it. But who created this soul in the first place? Who asked this question in the first place? Who set up this whole thing where you have you're presented with this? Who created the soul to be asked the question? We didn't need even that. So no one asked to be born. So that means that all of your needs aren't really your needs in the first place. So you don't actually need anything. But we think now that we're here, all we have to do is serve our needs. Well, here's an idea for you. If God created us, surely that means he is the one with a need, not us. If I create a table, I need the table. The table doesn't need anything. The table doesn't need to be here. The only reason the table's here is because I need this table. Why is the table here? Because it's needed. So only a creator has needs. So if God created us, that's because he needs us. He needs the world. So we're here, not because we're needy, because we're needed. So the radical message of Torah, I try not to use the word Judaism because I think ism isn't a good word. Ism implies some kind of distortion of truth to fit a narrative. The message of the Torah, the word of God, is this. You are here because God needs a dwelling place on earth. He wants a partnership, a relationship with you. You are here not because you're needy, but because you're needed by him. He created you. So the message of Torah and the reason why the Jewish people celebrate life, and we say l'chaim, to life, is not because we're thinking about the next world. It's because we're not trying to get to heaven. We're trying to bring God down to earth. We are not the needy one. God needs. God creates us because he wants to come down here to earth to dwell with us. And our job here is to go into this low, painful world and fix it and partner with God and bring God into this world. Sometimes that might mean having to die for him, but we don't think that's the ideal. The ideal is to live life here and bring God into our daily lives every single day. And that's serving God, not serving ourselves by getting there. So that's the fundamental mistake made by many religions. They think it's all about us being needy, our need to get there. No. As a matter of fact, you do not need anything because you didn't need to be born. You are here because God is in need of you. So this creates a radical change in the way you see everything, the way you understand religion, God. And I think if people started to look at things this way, it could really change reality. And this is why the Jewish view of the next world is actually, we believe heaven, when you die and go to heaven, that's actually just a temporary retirement home. Very calm, very peaceful, but it's temporary. And then what happens at the end of days, at the end of history, is that the soul gets resuscitated back into the body and earth becomes permanent. Earth becomes heaven. The resuscitation of the dead. Why would that be? The answer is, obviously, because the whole plan of creation is about earth. It's God's plan, it's his need, it's his project, and he wants earth to become heavenly, the lowest world to become the most holy, so that he can dwell in it with us.
Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.